Testing. Oh, yeah.
Put a candy jar up there with all my. Trying to answer the question before they're out. It was just one, and he said to me, it's my decision. Good evening, everybody. I'll call the meeting to order. If you please stand for the pledge.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adriana, you want to do roll call
Tanya,
here?
Ryan,
Here.
Libby. Here. Fritz,
Here.
Sean.
Here.
And we have a quorum. And we do have a couple of additions to the agenda tonight. Under new business, we want to add a special exception that's being asked for chickens at 322 East Delaware Street. We'll add that to, that'll be new business D. And then also, I wanted to add a discussion on the formation of a festival committee. So we'll put that on new business too, and make that D.
E.
Or E, yes. So if I can get a motion to do that.
I'll make a motion to edit tonight's meeting agenda to add new business D. Approval for a chicken coop at 322 East Delaware Street. And new business E, discussion about a festival committee.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next up, we're looking for an approval for the minutes of the January 5th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for January 5th, 2026.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So, old business. We're going to consider the adoption of resolution 2026 1A. Would this be 1A? Fiscal plan for the Sing Right Petty annexation. Alex or Adam?
All right, for the record, I'm Adam Zaklikowski, the Planning and Building Director for the town. So this is the state mandated fiscal plan that must be filled out for each annexation that we undertake. All of these 3 annexations coming up are all voluntary. They all went before you for first reading already. So now it's just a matter of adopting the fiscal plan if you so choose, and then you are free to adopt the ordinance. So this first one is for that Sing Right Petty annexation that's near 1,000 North and 400 West. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to address them.
I wasn't here last meeting. What was that? What is that zoned over there right now?
I believe it's zoned, I think, industrial in the
Industrial.
county. However, we wrote in the ordinance that, much like we did with the Stokes property, that zoning would be, rather than automatically assigned, as we sometimes do with annexations, we would go to the plan commission for them to review a rezone of it.
Okay.
And hopefully that would be in conformance with our comprehensive plan.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the adoption of resolution 2026 1A fiscal plan for the Sing Right Petty annexation.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries. So we need signatures on these, right, Missy? Okay, I'll pass them at the same time. Next up, we have council to consider the second reading and the adoption of ordinance 2025-12A of the Sing Right Petty annexation. This is the ordinance. Adam, you want to add anything?
Yeah, just to add is that if you approve it, then the next step for all of these annexations is Missy will put the signed ordinance in the newspaper, get that published, and then 30 days after publication of that, we're required to have another 30-day window. Then we can take it down to Hancock County and record the ordinance. And it's at that time when it's officially in town limits. So it would officially be in town limits sometime in February.
Anybody have any questions for Adam?
Is there any development going on that property or is it just, we're just annexing it?
For Stingray Petty,
Yeah.
not at the moment. There is a home builder that has it under contract, and is interested obviously in the property. And once they formalize their plans, obviously we'll bring it to you guys into the public for review and comment as we always do. So stay tuned.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that that's our town border, right? That'll be our furthest west.
That's
Yeah,
right.
400. So it'll be at the very edge of town. So we'll have it
Correct.
annexed all the way out to 400.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Good.
I'll make a motion to approve second reading of ordinance 2025-12A, Sing Right Petty annexation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So both documents are together here for you to. Okay, next up, we have council to consider the adoption of Resolution 2026-1B, a fiscal plan for the Huck Minor subdivision annexation.
All right. And then for these, there's 3 lots and they're all owned by family members. These 3 lots are on Ohio Street, south side of Ohio, right up against the Hamilton County line. And out of the 3 lots, 2 houses are built. And then on the 3rd lot, there's a house under construction right now. The owners wanted to take advantage of the town's water and sewer. And they had some agreements with the Northwest Fortville developer to provide some of those utilities. So they're in the process of hooking those up right now. And again, best case scenario, it's always advantageous to annex for water and sewer. That's really to be honest, our number one carrot to bring people into Fortville. So
Any questions for Adam?
Is that 1B?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve adoption of resolution 2026-1B, fiscal plan for Huck Minor subdivision annexation.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So next we have the second reading and the adoption of ordinance 2025-12B for the Huck Minor subdivision annexation. Yeah,
Same thing.
same thing.
Yep. Publication and then a 30-day waiting period, and then we can record it at the county.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2025-12B, Huck Minor subdivision annexation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Two again. And then up next, we have the adoption of Resolution 2026-1C, a fiscal plan for the Rice-Ross annexation.
And then this one, the Rice-Ross annexation is the Mount Carmel Primitive Baptist Church that's on the west side of Fortville Pike, just south of Blossom Trace. There's the church, and then behind it, there's a field that's owned by Miss Rice Ross that's been in town limits for a long time. The church property is not in town limits. At some point, she purchased a very small sliver of land on the south end of the church property. And soon she would like to reconfigure the lots, the land. She'd probably like to have two lots, like a northern lot to split off and a southern lot. So she wanted to fix some of the parcel lines. Well, we weren't able to do anything with this really small piece of land, which is 0.06 acres, I think. So it's really just a cleanup measure to get that in town limits, and then she can split the property based on the ordinance.
Any questions? Okay.
Make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-1C fiscal plan for Rice-Ross annexation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And then lastly, we have the council to consider second reading and adoption of ordinance 2025-12C for Rice-Ross annexation.
Well, same thing as previous. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-12C, Rice-Ross annexation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Those two. Okay, up next, final piece of old business. Council will consider the appointment of one resident to the police commission. We did not have everybody here at our last meeting, so we postponed to this mission. So we'll be looking for nomination for the candidates again were Eric Fieldmanis and Kevin Kessinger. Anybody want to make a nomination? There you go.
Yeah, I'll still nominate Eric Feldmanis.
We have a nomination for Eric Fieldmanis. We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So our new member for Police Commission will be Eric Fieldmanis. And, oh, Kevin is here. Thanks for coming. Appreciate you sticking your neck out. Okay. Put that down here.
New business?
New business. Council President will consider appointing a citizen member to the Boarding of Zoning Appeals, the BZA, filling a seat for Earl Bolander, who decided to not re-up his seat. So I think we only got one candidate, didn't we, Adam? Michael Carpenter, I believe,
That's
is his
correct.
name. I don't, is he here? Is there a Michael Carpenter here? I don't know him, so I wouldn't know him, but great. Yeah, he's got some great looking resume, and I think I'd just like to appoint him as the new member. I think he said he'd been in town here for 12 years and, is he? Michael, are you on Zoom? I'll let him tell who he is.
Did anybody interview him at all?
Mm-mm. I'm going
The reason why I say that, because zoning is probably one of the most important positions that we can appoint somebody. Because the only relief they can get from zoning is they have to go to a court. The council can never overturn what the zoning board, um, what they vote on. They can only get court relief. So I'm not sure. Is he here or does?
Well, I think it's just a council president appointment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a council appointment, it's a council president appointment.
Okay,
So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is he on there, Adam?
I don't know.
No,
There's a Michael on, but we don't.
that's probably him.
The Michael.
Michael, if you're talking, you're not unmuted.
You are right though, Fritz. I'm not saying that you're not right.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't wear my hearing aids tonight, so there might be.
You are right, though. It is a very important
But
question.
I think that's what we've normally done in the past. We really, it's a very important position to have, and that's all I had to say.
Mhm.
Thank you.
But there's only one application for it, isn't there? Not much we can.
Can you? Okay.
It is the only one.
Right.
Unless you have somebody you want to recommend.
No, what I wanted to do, did we post it? I didn't see it in we saw, okay,
Yeah.
then that's my bad. Thank you.
What
And-
was that name, Tanya, that you?
Michael Carpenter. He lives in Blossom Trace. And we could get him to come in here if you'd like, if you'd like to do that. I don't have a problem with that either. Okay,
So did we appoint him or do we need him to come in? Just clarifying.
we can have him come in. Let's just have him come in. That way everybody gets a chance to meet him and interrogate him. I'll get in touch with him. I can reach out to him. Okay. Next up, we have council to consider first reading of ordinance 2026. Do we need to letter this to 1D?
One D. D is in dog.
Yep. Residential rental housing registration
I think-
inspections.
Would it be? Yeah, one A, whatever we had for.
Sorry, this is an ordinance. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, this would be the first one this year.
Sorry.
Yep, got it. So, who wants to head that
Sure,
one,
I
Adam
can-
or Alex?
I can start and then
Okay,
I'll defer to Alex, but
okay.
if you recall, was it last month or last meeting, we had Jerry Santon, our building inspector, come before you all in the public to explain the need for a housing registration ordinance for rentals and what the benefits are and the need is for that. And council was supportive of crafting an ordinance for your review. So Alex put together an ordinance predominantly modeled after Valparaiso, I believe.
Yes.
And that was the preferred ordinance that Jerry had selected. That seemed to be the most thorough and cover all the different bases of yearly inspections of rental properties for public health, safety, and welfare, as well as a registration system with the town that will basically provide good, solid contact info for the owners, especially those that are out of state. So that's all spelled out in this ordinance. And the comments that you see were just a few minor comments that I had from a staff perspective in the ordinance. And then I think the only component that was not covered in here that did come up in conversation was if you wanted to consider a cap on the number of rentals in a subdivision. Carmel Fishers have restrictions on that for better or worse. And so if that's the direction that you want to head, you can certainly include it in this ordinance, or you could kick the can down the road and tackle that another time. But with that, I'll turn it over to Alex to maybe provide some additional information.
I'm not sure I have a whole lot to add. Adam covered it. I'm not in, I think probably the council's going to need to review it. I see Fritz is reading through the first page here.
Yeah, it's awful long. We just
Right.
got it like three.
I got through half
We
of
knew
it.
that. I don't think Jerry or Adam, Joe, right, anyone's expecting you to, suspend the rules and adopt this tonight. It's really just trying to arrive at what works for the town of Fortville and get something in place that would, create this ability for Jerry to go out and monitor rental properties to, in the interest of public safety. Jerry's run it by the fire chief as well, and there were some additional comments there that we may be adding and sending out, and identifying a couple other additions there, but really just wanting the council to take a look at it, get familiar with it, questions, and then hopefully over the next couple of meetings arrive at something that we can put in place and start enforcing this year.
Do we know how many rental properties there are in Fortville?
Good question.
No.
No. So if it's like 300,
I can
He's got
probably
it.
get you a good guess at the next meeting.
okay.
I do think it's important for us to put something in here for the subdivision over and beyond what we're going to try to ask of the HOAs when they develop, to make sure that we can have a little bit of control over that too, so that even maybe stricter if they don't want to do it. We could even make it stricter if we had.
Yeah, and one nuance of that, without getting into a lot of boring detail, but it'll all come down to what's the definition of a subdivision. And so are we thinking of a platted subdivision? So I would say that the one major difference between a place like Fortville and Carmel and Fishers is we have a lot of quote unquote subdivisions in the Old Town area that were platted 100 years ago. And so we may have, if we set the max at 10%, and let's say we already have a portion of the Records and Voorhees plat that has, 20% rentals, then does the council want to take a hard stance and say that immediately we would allow the 20% rentals as of a certain date, but we're not going to allow any more in that particular location? So that's one thing to think about. I think that's a little bit of a nuance. Or do you want to keep it and say any subdivisions platted after X date? So we're talking about some of the newer subdivisions and excluding some of the Old Town area. There's a few different ways of doing it. I think it just comes down to what do you want to, what's the goal that we want to achieve? So.
Unfortunately, I heard that there was a home built out there in Lennar just for a property management company and is for rent.
Mm.
And it's, that place isn't even developed all the way yet. So I think the sooner we can get our hands around this, the better we're going to be, just for that reason. But it is a lot. There's a lot here. So
My question
It's
is,
just $20 a head.
how do you manage that? Does it come in when they apply for something that it's under a corporation or it's listed as a rental? And then it can get denied, and how does that happen?
So we would have a separate form that basically, if this ordinance, if and when it's approved, then we would notify the entire public that Fortville now has a rental registration program, and it's going to take effect on whatever date is decided. And that all rentals would need to register by that date
Mhm.
or else potentially facing a penalty. So the way that it would be monitored is that people that have a rental would have to get us that, fill out that 1 or 2 page application form showing that they are a rental and who's all the contact information. Now, at a certain point, if this is implemented at a certain point, and we find that somebody didn't fill out that necessary form, then that would be the same principle as any other code enforcement issue, that we have a process for that that's laid out in this ordinance too. So I would suspect that, like with anything, you're probably not going to get 100% compliance off the bat. So there will be some that for whatever reason don't register, and we'll have to follow up with that.
I guess if Joe can get a list too for what he knows to be rental, we can maybe reach out to them and send them what we've decided
Yeah.
here early, and so they can get on that. I saw that there was a grace here too for
Yeah.
the ones that are already there.
Yeah, that could be another way of doing it too, is getting that information about the rentals and then putting something in the mail. Because, some people are out of state, maybe they're not following the local happenings here. They may not know.
So I saw one thing in there that said that, I can't find it now, but I thought it said that there would be no appliances on the outside of the buildings. Would that include AC units, or I guess it was kind of
No, that was in the context of um,
like refrigerator?
like a junk
Yeah.
washer and dryer that's sitting out by the curb.
Okay.
And there is some overlap with our current zoning ordinance on different property maintenance issues, but as long as it doesn't conflict, there's no harm in restating those things as part of what the town's policy expectations are on this subject matter.
Yeah, because I guess on here it says the weeds, and it's not really spelled out what a weed is. And if the grass has to be at 6 inches already, I think it would kind of take care of itself then, right? Like,
Yeah.
A little redundant.
Yeah.
well, and it's just vague on what a weed is. It doesn't, to me, I guess, doesn't spell out what a weed would be.
I think we
Probably should just
we-
reference our,
Right, we could
ordinance.
reference the weed ordinance, but I mean, if you have to be careful there, because I'm no botanist, but I bet there are tens of thousands of weeds, and we could have one heck of a long ordinance if we're gonna start defining every weed. Even just ones that are native to Indiana. So I mean, we kind of know what weeds are and what grass is.
Is this for the inside also?
Yeah,
Inside?
Jerry can inspect.
So let me ask you, is this in between tenants, or are tenants living there and they can expect it?
Expect what?
Inspect the property?
Inspect. Yeah, I mean, if Jerry thinks that it's,
Would they need a warrant?
warrants,
Would they need a, no, would need a, how about the residents?
It's not
No,
a
you can't
criminal,
come
you don't
in.
need a warrant. I mean, it's a
I know.
public safety issue.
Okay,
So-
so I'm saying if I'm a homeowner or renting someplace, somebody knocks on my door, wants to inspect my property. I'm wondering, did they give them a week's notice? Would
I
they?
think your lease probably says that, in a regular lease. It'll
I believe it's outlined in the
Yeah.
text too of
I
this.
say individual leases.
I will say that I believe Jerry's had a couple of renters that's reached out to him because either their heat wasn't working or they had some electrical issues
Yeah.
inside and their landlord wasn't willing to work with them. So
Yeah.
Jerry was able to reach out to the landlord and get it resolved. So that helps.
No,
Which is another purpose of this program, is to specifically identify who the property owner or the landlord is, so that when those types of issues arise, the town can, help address them.
Okay,
Or even fire. That's another thing, because a lot of times they don't know they can't contact the property owner or,
oh, no, that's,
so-
that's not, I understand all
Yeah.
that. What I'm saying is if a tenant at their house says, no, I don't want you in here.
But when they sign a lease, a commercial lease, a residential lease, most of them have a clause in there that says that they can access your property as long as you have 24-hour notice, or what they usually specify in the lease that tenant signs. So it kind of, we would have to follow that, obviously. We couldn't
I
just,
think in here, like Joe mentioned, there is we'll give you notice that, hey, we'd like to expect within X amount of time. And also, I may be wrong, but I believe there's also, it's like between 9 and 4:30 or regular business hours. It's not coming out at 7:30 at night when you're having dinner.
Okay.
The other question I had, so if you had a renter that refused to mow their lawn or something, and from what I hear, it's hard to get somebody evicted. And so at that point, like, who do we start fining? I mean, would it be on the landlord then? But then how do you kind of start getting into a rock and a hard place with the landlord trying to enforce his rules.
Ultimately,
and
it's
then-
on the property owner. It's
Yeah.
their responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's Indiana case law for that's not too old, that basically the court said, look, property owner, if you choose to rent your property, you're in the best position through your lease and the contract with your tenants to control that thing and to offset liability, so that town, you're within your rights to go after the property owner for ordinance violations. And then property owner, if you did your due diligence on having a tight lease and having a tenant that's not judgment proof, you can recoup whatever the town hits you with. But it's the landlord's issue. This isn't landlords get a free pass because they have tenants in there, and Indiana law is clear on that.
Okay, I just want to make sure there wasn't going to be like I said, us putting landowner
Nope.
in a tight spot.
No, landowner is putting themselves in a tight spot if they don't have a good tenant and a good lease. Is the way that the law looks at it. It's not a town issue.
Okay. Do we have the manpower to do that because some of these apartment complexes have, I don't know how many apartments are in there,
Was already around.
especially ones out on 13.
Well, that's a good question. I think
So would
we'll
you have to
find out.
hire- Will we have to, I'm just asking. do
Sure,
we
it's a
need to
great,
hire-
that is a good question.
'Cause I don't know how many apartments are in those apartment complexes. Do you?
Several.
How much?
There's several.
Several. What? No, inside that one apartment complex, the Village,
The Village,
and then the one across the street.
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay.
We got Jefferson Place, we got Stonecrest, and the Village, Bear Court, the Village Apartments up there.
Okay.
And we got Main Street, those new apartments. So yeah,
Then
we're getting a few.
probably like anything else, you put it out there and see what happens, and then we'll have to adjust accordingly, I guess, to try to enforce it if it becomes.
And I know Jerry he does some inspections kind of periodically, and the fire department does like random annual fire
Yeah, they-
inspections. And they'll do that with the apartment buildings and stuff, and I'm sure that Jerry can work with them.
What we want to try to do too, I think, is to encourage the property owners to take care of it anyway, so it never gets to that point, and it just makes better landlords and happier tenants. So hopefully it will give them a little bit of incentive to do better, knowing that somebody's watching or can be watching, holding them accountable. So
Jerry will get some over.
yeah, Jerry might.
Yeah, I'd like to know, just like Fritz said, how many rentals we have total versus total residents. I guess the percentage that it currently is.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do to get you a number. It'll be close. It won't be
Approximate,
exact.
yeah.
So I mean, we could be already getting close to being capped out
Yeah, I
then.
know.
Like, so.
So I was just curious.
Oh,
Or
I
over.
would be surprised. I know,
$20
years ago, we were at 50%
The cost.
when I first started
Having
working.
somebody do all these inspections.
And we might need to adjust that maybe later. Maybe maybe later we might need to adjust it, maybe if it's not enough.
And
That's
and my
awesome.
my assumption is that Jerry changed those numbers from that $20 is what Jerry put in there. So my assumption is that Jerry thought about, amount of time and burden and whatnot. I mean, Jerry put a whole lot of work in tracking down different ordinances and then modifying, like we said at the beginning, the Valparaiso as a template, and then adding some other things in. So, but you're right. And if we find that any part of this ordinance, the fees or otherwise, notice provisions and so forth, doesn't work, you can amend it and and continue to make sure that what we've got on the books works for the town.
Okay.
But that's just for a registration fee, right? The $20.
Yeah, the $20 registration.
And then that $100 is only then charged if the inspection fails. If I read that right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, would it help if Jerry came in and helped us?
Well, I think we can, I think best way to do this is we kind of,
Read it.
yeah, but let's read it
That'd be
and
some
add,
fun.
add our 2 cents and then have Jerry come in and maybe clarify some things and we can present him with our ideas and I don't know, what is this, 20 some pages? It's pretty long.
It's in depth.
So,
If you guys wanted to review it and do like a markup with your thoughts
Yeah.
and stuff, get it back to Jerry, that'll give him a little bit of time to
Yeah.
make some changes and maybe.
Yeah.
you know,
it might be a
come up
couple
with a little-
meetings before we bring him back here by the time everybody gets it read. And but yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Gotta pass it, know what's in it.
Yeah. Be a good idea, right?
Pass it, know what's in it. That's a good one.
Okay. Let's see. Next up, we have the clerk treasurer is going to present an update on APRA, Access to Public Records Act.
Okay. Last week, we noticed that there were some things that needed updated on the form. And I asked Adriana to kind of take it and run with it. And so this is her baby and I'm not going to steal her thunder, so I'll let her present it.
Okay.
I don't know about my baby.
Well, you did a lot of work on it.
2025, we found that we received quite a number of public record requests. And some of them may not have been as appropriate as we would have wanted them. So we've sort of corrected some language on these forms to make sure costs are clear, expectations are clear, and what it is that we're looking for. Public record requests are designed for the public to request a particular record, not years of record. There's a specific laws that were and judgments that were passed last year that help clerk treasurer's offices sort of narrow down these things so that the day-to-day work in the clerk treasurer's office doesn't get affected by continuous and multiple requests. So taking the advice of the public access counselor, we sort of made sure that this form has what the language that we need to portray to anyone who is going to be filling out a form going forward. And if you guys agree that everything's good, then we will update the website and make sure that it's on TownShare and everything so that this form is the only one going to be accepted moving forward for any requests of public records.
I've looked at it as well and don't have any issues.
Was this posted before the meeting?
Yes, it was in the, we posted it when.
What day was
added it.
that?
Andy asked it
What day was that?
Last,
last week.
was that last Friday?
Last Friday?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I think we should, I think we should post it more than a week so people can read this.
It's not a very involved form, but if you want to wait, we can postpone it to the next meeting. I don't have an issue with it.
Okay, well,
This form is not for the public to alter, like.
Yeah.
This is something that's a legal document. This is
Alright.
not up for discussion with
I understand that.
the public. This is just something that we've had to clear up and we're trying to let the town council know and memorialize this in our minutes.
Okay.
I don't really think it needs a
No resolution or.
Yeah, and it's really not changed drastically.
just clarifying of language, but that's pretty much all we do. And it is very important that we do.
I agree. I really agree. But I just got it on Friday. I mean, I've been busy.
Yeah.
And it's Tuesday and now I'm just reading it. So I just would like more time so I can at least look at it and look at what other towns are doing or whatever before we adopt something, but you guys can go ahead and make your vote.
Well, we're not asking for a vote. We're letting you guys know that there's a new four.
And if there's something you want to add, you
We don't
can.
vote on this at all. It's not a done deal.
I mean, the clerk treasurer is the keeper of the record.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, and public records requests come to the clerk treasurer's office and Missy and Adriana take care of it. So it's really just.
It's just letting us know. We don't have to
Let
vote
you
on
know
this.
in
Okay.
case, somebody raises it with y'all out in,
Public.
in the public at the cafe or.
Well, they just need to go to Missy and talk about, not us. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Well, Miss or myself.
Yeah.
Actually, the only thing I think on here that's different is it's saying that the statement that needed to be in there was the documents must be completed in full to avoid rejection or denial. And that's, and it is very specific that you have to complete it in order to get what you're asking for. So the other information is all the same, other than adding the date and cleaning up the language, just making it a little bit not so awkward, I guess. So I think it looks good.
Just up in the fee.
Well,
Yeah, well, usually if you don't have an issue until you have an issue.
Yeah.
And so we
Right.
like to resolve anything that comes up.
sure.
So, and as things come, we deal with them, and this is just part of dealing with issues as they come.
Right.
Thank you for bringing that to us so we could take a look and appreciate that. Okay. Up next, we'll go to the, our first added agenda item for Ashley Glasgow and Justin McCabe to get an exception for to have chickens on their property at 322 East Delaware Street. Are they here? Oh, hi, come on up.
Is that Mike?
Just tell everybody who you are, and I don't know if they know where you're at, but you can kind of go through this with the public and everything.
Okay, so my name is Ashley Glasgow. This is Justin McCabe. We're at 322 East Delaware, which is the corner of Center and Delaware. So we back up to the Vera Court duplexes. We're right here, Strauss. Yeah, right here in town.
Okay. I know you said in here that you had talked to your neighbors, but
Yes.
we didn't get this on the agenda, so I feel like maybe we should get it on the next agenda so that they know. And then if there is something that needs to be said, they can come say it.
So
Um,
my neighbors were given a copy of that form as well.
Okay,
On our request, we did put in there the date that we were hoping to have this on the agenda today.
Mhm.
So they were all aware of that as well.
okay. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but if you
Yeah.
want to,
The neighbors will tell you anything. And then all of a sudden they call Joe and la, 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 la. So, do me a favor. That's what I would suggest. Come back next week, maybe with their signature.
have them sign it.
Yeah, have them sign.
Then there's no,
Okay.
yeah.
Because we've been down this road before, so we know they neighbors will say anything and then all of a sudden that,
Yeah, and I think you're well within, what you need to have here. It's just, I don't want to cause any, just because of what we've done in the past. So
Okay.
just to make sure everybody's good.
Okay, so just a copy of what?
Just what you give us here and just have them sign it and bring it in here and then we'll move on. So if you can have that before our next meeting, then we'll do it then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You want name and like,
Their address, yeah. Just like you would on a petition, I guess, same kind of information, yeah.
Okay,
And
perfect.
for the record, if you sent those out to your neighbors,
Mhm.
I've not gotten any calls. So.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, but.
That's a good start.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good a signature. trust me.
Yeah.
So what's to the south of you? You said
Sorry.
the south of you? What?
South of us.
It's
is
the-
duplexes.
It's the old children's home. It's the old children's
Yeah,
home.
the old Christian youth home.
Yeah. And then the apartments ends. Yeah. And then the apartments sit a little bit to the east there.
Are
If
you
you drive
guys,
around, we're the one with the RV and a cop car. You
Yeah.
Are you guys
It's a
gonna sell any
two-story
eggs?
right there on the corner.
Are you guys gonna sell any eggs?
I mean, if they lay enough, yeah, so.
So delicious, we eat them.
Yeah. Anybody have any more questions for them for now? No? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Next up, we want to, this is our second added agenda item for the festival committee. I just wanted to, we've all kind of talked about it or said, a few words about it. Want to try to get some clarity from Alex on how we can do this and have control over it, like have a festival committee be appointed by the council. And my personal opinion, see what everybody else says here. We'll have two festivals, and the farmers market, I think, is something that the festival committee should also be responsible for, or at least help facilitate the farmers market. I think it struggles and it needs marketing help and things like that. And I think that organization would be a good fit for that. So I'm gonna start with that, and then you guys just kind of chime in and give me your opinion. What you think?
I think it's a great idea.
There's Amy's calls, treats on Main. Is there anything else that needs to be under that?
Well, it wouldn't be them because they're private. The two festivals, the Summerfest, Winterfest, and we're a town festival until last year, and then I think we should just bring it back and we recommended the last time we talked about it. The farmers market has always just been a different beast of itself, I guess, because it started out with the Chamber of Commerce, right? Many years
Still
ago.
is.
I'll say, do they have their own board or anything like that?
I think they're working on it. That's Sean is, his wife is involved and has good communication. And I did talk to Vicky, and I think they had some kind of Zoom meeting the other night. Were you on that? Yeah. I think they're open to it. They all seem to be very open to having somebody to organize, help market, maybe just to oversee and take care of funds, vendor fees and that sort of, so they don't have somebody in the group taking care of the money. And these are things that just we heard in relation, but I'm not sure how to put that all together, Alex.
Yeah, my thought would be to formalize it into what the council thinks, number of people, how those people get appointed to the committee. Is it just, by vote of the council, or does the president get one pick and then the council has two, for a 3-member? So just outline that, the size, and then their purpose. Is it for a 1-year term? Kind of like we do for other,
That's what I thought too.
law, state law says, here's how you handle BZA, here's how you handle police commissioner, so forth. Nothing preventing the council from creating a similar framework. My thought would be resolution. You could use an ordinance, but resolutions can be a little more nimble from a time if you ever wanted to modify or change something. You could be very specific in the creation resolution if you decide to go that way. And we've done this for things in the past where you appoint Andy. Joe always gets picked on, but appoint somebody to be over it, to develop policies, or here's what we're doing. Another thought that I would have, these are events, so you mentioned retaining some control as a council. Building in that 90 days before any event, the committee as a whole, or one of the committee members would come make a presentation to the council and the public as to what's going on, and you just kind of create those expectations. It doesn't have to be, you don't want to make it so onerous that nobody's going to want to serve,
Right.
but making it clear that people who do serve know what the expectations and the responsibilities and duties and time commitment and so forth would be. That's my thought.
Will there be compensation for these people?
Well, I don't know. I sometimes feel like
Because that's a big issue.
it is big. It's a big deal. And I think it's something we should consider, yes, to get the right people, maybe. Because I've thought about that too. And we could do either, right? Could we?
We'd have to make sure that, I mean, are these employees, it'd probably be just like an RDC member. or
Right.
Paid.
Right.
Position.
That's what I was
We
thinking.
would look at it, and make sure that
Like an annual,
doing it.
once a year for, just a very small caveat maybe to, or maybe it needs to be bigger. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, like I said, I've never done that, so I don't really know, but I feel like we need to do something to make it successful and keep it that way, and it gets regulated somehow. And maybe we'll continue to get good community, volunteers and stuff if it's organized.
And this is for what, farmer's market and what else?
The festival, Summer and Winter Fest, or whatever other festivals they might want to have.
Implement this before Summerfest this year?
It needs to happen fast, but I just don't know that it will. I mean, I don't know if we can get people to get on board and get excited about it quickly. Some people like to mull it around a lot before they decide they want to jump in and do something like that. So I don't know.
To me, it seems like it'd be easier to just do a parks board than have a committee.
What
Did
did you
you-
learn? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, my thinking on the parks board that they would do the farmer's market, help out, and that way we can get grant money and they could take over some of these festivals.
You also,
I don't
Parks
know.
Board, you lose control.
You lose control. You don't
Parks
have any
Board is
control.
the independent.
Yeah, we've already lost control. We don't have control over zoning.
Well, most of it,
We don't have any control over zoning, the people on the council. We've given 5 people in this.
well, that's a little bit different. This is just a festival.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I would say that you have control over zoning by you are the sole body that adopts and can amend and delete the zoning
Right.
code. And so if there are issues with zoning, that's typically an ordinance based, which the council has control. The BZA and the Plan Commission are just the
Yep.
entities that have it. And you'll recall, before the town had its own BZA and Plan Commission, everything was in the hands of the county.
Right. But what I'm saying is we've given up control of that. Even though they vote, the only way they get relief, they have to go to court, right?
Depends on what they're voting on, but
Yeah,
yes,
if
an
they're
appeal
one
of
that you
the Board of
appeal to.
Zoning Appeals
So
is to,
what
which,
I'm saying is we're saying we're giving up control, but really we're not, because we don't have control how the RDC spends their money.
well, RDC is different, but BZA can't incur debt, park boards can. Plan Commission can't incur debt by issuing bonds, park boards can. They're basically the town council of the parks.
Right.
So they can
They got
issue
that-
bonds, they can, have a levy,
Right,
It
but
is-
we could get grant money.
maybe.
Well,
I mean, you
Can
can get,
can we not get grant money for?
you can.
So going back to the festival committee, I think what we've learned in the last year when we gave up control of this is that now the public knows exactly how much work is involved in these festivals. And, from the feedback that we have received on Facebook and everywhere else, it was a lot more than we thought. So if we're going to make this palatable for someone to come in, we sort of have to restructure our expectations of the public and of these festivals. Because as it is right now, I think a lot of people have a bitter taste in their mouth. And what has happened in the last year and a half is going to deter a lot of people from participating or from even showing interest in this committee. So I think that is a huge component of the problem.
I think from an outsider looking in.
Are you an outsider?
I mean, I wasn't involved in the, festivals and stuff, so just things I've heard. It seemed like one of the big downfalls, I guess, or kind of the pitfall was that you had, this was with the farmer's market, and I think with festivals, you had one person that was running it. And that just seems to be way too much for one person to do it. So I think having a board and it kind of spread that out so one person isn't doing all of it would definitely help.
The board can also help with the volunteer side of it, which seems to be the big struggle is getting commitment out of the volunteers and getting them there. This way you have more people maybe that can assist in getting that accomplished. So, I mean, I don't think it's I just, powers and numbers sometimes with this stuff. And I want it to be a good thing because it was a good thing. And I think it can be that way again. But you've got to get the right people in place that care and want to pay attention to it, you know?
The other thing too, with the farmer's market, it's coming up soon.
Yeah.
So I think about mid-April is usually when they have their first thing. So they've got to get applications and vendors and things like that
Yeah.
kind of going.
Well, I think they should go ahead and when you guys organize and figure out who's going to go ahead and get your applications and get them done while we're still trying to create this and get it on its feet. So it doesn't slow down what you're trying to do. But obviously on the festival side, I know that they start getting calls in January from vendors and stuff wanting to get ready for the festival. And we don't have anybody in place to do that right now. So it might take a hit from that. So we'll have to look at what will happen to that and how we'll manage that. And
Would you guys be open to finding a new coordinator? Festival coordinator?
when we might have to, because that's what I mean. You might not have anybody that's going to say, and then they're going to have, that committee's going to have to find out how they're going to pay for that. They might come to us or come to the RDC or go out and get a grant, go to the county tourism or whatever and find some money. So
Volunteers to do this is that everyone's all gung ho to sign up, one day. And then when the events happen, everybody's sick.
Yeah.
There's always something and it's always left up to one or two people. So it has to be something, a paid position to coordinate these events if you want to bring it back to where it used to be.
and I believe that too. How you fund that, I don't know. I'm just, it's,
It would be through the vendor application fees
Mhm.
partially.
Mhm.
And I mean, we did not account for this in the budget once again. but
right, right,
It's not going to be a huge
right,
amount of money
right.
either.
You have to start somewhere too. So, I don't know. And I don't know what that looks like.
And we also have to understand that we're not going to make everybody happy.
No, that's true. And you can't, but
It's not-
we want to give it our best go though, however we can. And
How about an exploratory committee to go over these things that we can't seem to come to an answer with? And then they could come to us and give us what they think would be best for the community. I don't know.
and then we just reel them in to take position on the.
Yeah, personally, I think though that, I mean,
Hmm.
I would love to have enough money that
Yeah.
we could have somebody on staff.
Yeah,
Maybe
just for marketing period. And then, this,
would be great.
Yeah.
Somebody who likes to do events. Our Parks Department should be having events for our community. Working with the library, there was a little taste of that once. Our Parks Department isn't just baseball. So we could do a whole lot more.
I mean, is this something that Heath would be a part of then? I mean,
I don't know.
like,
We're looking for ideas here. So, yeah.
Just, if you're gonna hire somebody to do that, I think they need to be somehow affiliated with the parks, or I think the parks need to sponsor it. I don't know that Heath is your guy for doing that, not picking on Heath or anything. He's got a lot of other things, a lot of other irons in the fire, and
Not his focus.
it's not his focus. So festivals. So I think, get somebody that concentrate on that, but it still needs to be park affiliated, I believe.
Andy, it looks like you're up.
You got an opinion? Do you have an opinion?
Sorry.
You're being awful quiet over there. You got your hands in a lot of this already, so it'd be nice to hear what you think about it.
Well, unfortunately, I had strep throat during Winterfest,
Oh.
so I wasn't able to partake and help in that whole thing. But again, I think I like the idea of the can't even say it.
Exploratory.
Exploratory committee.
Okay.
as someone who has just jumped in to help out with Summerfest last year when I saw volunteers not really being there and everything. I mean, I just jumped in. I ended up staying all day on zero sleep. So that just happened. So I would love to see that where we can come together for all the events, get everybody on the same page, vendors, applications, everything across the board be, one size fits all. That way we don't have this festival, this festival, everything's different. Just whatever we can to make it a one size fits all, cover all, so that way we don't have to hear the complaints. And unfortunately, social media does put all that out there where it does. It's negative. It's trash. It's, yeah, it's everybody's opinion, but we want to get everybody, we would love to bring the magic back because that's one of the things that drew my family here. And so you want to be able to get everybody on the same page, whether it's a committee, the directors, whatever we can to help it out. And from input from FAI, Discover Fortville, some help from maybe we talk with Riley Festival, anybody else that's having festivals around here. The way I look at it with McCordsville having their Winterfest, Noblesville was having their deal. Of course, Chris Kindle Mart at Carmel, all going on at the same time. That same Saturday was very tough for us to be able to have a draw. And again, I wasn't able to be there this year, but just hearing everything from top to bottom, the people that helped, the people complaining, the people that thought it was okay. It's hard to satisfy everybody, but whatever we can do to make it what it was again. So I'm all on board for helping and being a part of it.
I was gonna say, I feel like you're the guy. So I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say I'm sorry first before I
I
ask.
sigh because Libby always volunteers me now. Got Sean doing that.
But you are well connected with those people already. But it would be, I don't know, in the daily scheme of your duties and what you do a lot. I know that. Do you think you could manage that? Manage the exploratory committee and even maybe managing this committee that's going to come out of it?
I would love to say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I certainly don't want you to get in over your head and then just be swimming around because you can't manage it.
Yeah.
If you do that, though, you need to reach out and let us know that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to approach it. Just let's reach out to some of
It's
those.
good you brought this up tonight because I know Libby and Andy and I had a meeting scheduled for this next Friday. We were going to all sit down.
Oh, did you?
about the
Okay.
Exact same things.
Well, go ahead and power down.
No,
I
think
just
it's all
stepped right all over it, didn't I?
no, it's good. You brought it out and yeah,
Yeah, I'm just trying to rush it along because,
that's perfect.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
just for the urgency for the
I-
farmer's market was the only.
Farmer's market, but are we going to realistically be able to have 2 events with the park being tore up and all of that?
Maybe
The
not.
Exploratory committee, figure that out.
Yeah, the farmer's market is looking at a different location, right? Can I say what it is? Or no?
It's not.
Anybody here from the farmer's market? Okay. You are, come on up here. Come on up here, please, and tell everybody who you are. I've heard about you. I don't know you, but we're going to know you now.
My name is Tom Bataccio. I'm a humble bread maker.
Yes,
I
okay.
make sourdough bread
Yeah.
at the farmer's market. But
Yeah.
no, we just have basically have been looking into some ideas, and we have talked to Flory at Vernon Township. And it's been kind of difficult because of the timing with the holidays to get people to like respond and stuff. So I think that location, from what the research that she did, she said there's 16,000 passersby daily.
Yeah.
That's from research that she did and found. So just that alone will be a smart move for the farmer's market to kind of find itself there. Also, I talked to her about insurance. she said she'd be fine having us be covered under their
I
insurance
think it's a
there. I
good
asked
place
her
for it,
about,
yeah.
fees to rent the space. She said, no, there wouldn't be anything like that. She's looking forward to having a farmer's market there because it helps her to further her vision for that space as sort of like a local tourism
Her
spot.
community garden is there
For the
too, see,
garden.
so it's very,
She's
yeah.
talking about fountains, pavilions. She's got grants that she's got lined up. So she's a good person to be connected with. And I think that's like, so we just found ourselves connected to talking with her, and she's kind of waiting to find out more information. And I've sort of just been on pause. And if I could just suggest one thing, I think that there's some prudence in something that you said about, because it's like 13 to 14 weeks away is when the market starts. I think it might be smart to sort of function, even though the market is what I would call dysfunctional. It might be smart to sort of, for us to try to function within that current market rather than totally trying to 100% break out now, because it's coming so soon. And so,
And that's why I said, you guys can go ahead and form and make your plan, I think.
yeah,
And then we can include that when we finally get everything together here. And I don't think it's going to interrupt anything that you're doing.
yeah,
It's just going to make it better for you, hopefully, giving
Yeah.
you more marketing. You guys are going to have a lot more looks anyway, because of where, if you do go up
Oh my
there,
gosh.
people are going to see you a lot better. There's plenty of parking there. It's all a good thing. I think it'll just come along with it. It's not going to be, it won't be a difficult transition for you to have somebody over you to help market and whatever else you might need.
Yeah, my wife and I we're very kind of, we're not marketers like when you
Right.
think of New York City. I'm a storyteller.
Most of us aren't. Most
Yeah,
of
right.
us aren't.
I'm a storyteller. I do
Yeah.
video, photo, and graphic design. So I think in terms of story. So I can offer a lot of shaping of like how to help the town get seen in a little bit more of a modern way of how you would market a market through story. So that's kind of what my skill set is. And I just have been finding myself trying to figure out and do a lot of stuff. And ultimately, I've decided I definitely don't think I'm the person to be the guy running the farmer's market.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of strength in certain areas. I definitely want to offer myself to help do some of that stuff. So I would be more than happy also to help with whatever type of this committee that you'd want to do. So, yeah.
Sure. That
Thank
sounds
you.
great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thanks
you.
for coming. Yeah.
Oh. My last name is spelled Battaccio, B as in boy, Uttaccio, Battaccio.
Now, since it's coming up so close, like, is there any way of help facilitate the vendor fees and that for them, or?
I think we could. I mean, I think that's possible, couldn't we? Could we manage the,
Be able to manage their vendor fees? So that, like I
for
said.
the farmer's market?
We don't have anything to do with our vendors and fees now.
Well, I know you don't. This is what this committee is going to do. That's what I feel like they should do. They're going to be the financial people for the festivals and for the farmer's market. So
But currently they're under the chamber still, right?
no,
No,
they're not under
completely-
nobody.
They're just themselves.
Yeah.
No one actually knows.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it. Yeah. So
I mean, as long as they're at the township, I would think that the township would be doing all that. And if we bring it back to the town, then we would look at doing something with the town. But if they're going to be at the township.
speak, sir.
Thank you. Is Ben Eads still in charge of the farmer's market? Okay. Okay, because I'm going to reach out to him about about festival. 'Cause he needs to submit a special event request, all that stuff. So I just want to make sure he had that.
I don't know.
You guys talk to Ben at all? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. I got it. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. We don't have to dig into the weeds here on this, but
I was kind of under the impression he was not wanting to do it anymore and things like that. So the other thing too is trying to get the social media and things like that, passwords and emails and stuff like that from Ben.
yeah.
I'll check in with him tomorrow
Yeah.
and then just see where he's at with everything. Just try to get an update on all of that and see from his standpoint, and we can move from there.
Just so you know, I will help you if you need me for something. I will.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to make one comment about vendor fees and all that. we are not prepared to do that. We'd have to create a whole program for that and a whole appropriations account and all that. So we're not at the moment prepared to do that.
That's good.
Well, I
The
think
information, but
these
how,
would go to the township, like Joe said, we
Yeah.
don't have anything to do
Yeah.
with that property out there.
just for giggles, how long would it take to set up a program if
No, but
the
it's-
exploratory committee comes up with something instead of coming to the council and throwing it at you, like
It wouldn't take more than a week or so,
Okay.
but it would be more, well, we'd have to get with Beth first and get all that, but it would be more of a tracking system.
Mhm.
We'd have to create a system of.
There'd be spreadsheets involved.
Yeah,
And
out.
maybe the perfect thing, this is another thing too, I mean, maybe it is the thing, the farmer's market should be with the township, just because of what Florrie's involved out there. Maybe it doesn't fit in our festival committee thing. I don't know. I'm not writing that in stone, but the more you talk about it, the more logical it seems, because she's offering the property there for the market, and she has all this community garden stuff going on right now that fits right along with any of that.
and she's organized.
Yeah.
Yes, she is very, well,
She is a great
Yeah.
person.
yes.
So, yeah.
Stacy and all of them out there are
Yeah,
super,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, it's, that's a great partnership for you guys. So, yeah,
And I think they still got about, what, 6 weeks or something before you actually
Yeah.
start sending out vendor applications and start wanting to collect that.
Yeah, I'm just a thinker.
yeah. I would see,
He literally doesn't know
right,
that this is going on.
right. Okay.
It'll literally shock him, and what I fear is that we risk upsetting somebody.
Yeah, we don't want to do that either. Yeah, sure. Sure. I understand. Yeah, I understand.
It'll probably be a relief for him though.
Yeah. And I think that, sooner than later, you need to have that meeting with him and also with Lori, for a commitment. So you two, or you guys all do your thing and we'll continue ours, and then we'll see if they need to connect. Maybe they don't. Maybe Flori wants to keep it under her wing and handle it that way. So it's, I'm not speaking for her and I don't commit her to that, but that's something you guys can work on. How do you think? You think that's, everybody like that?
They're happy. And everybody else is happy.
We're all happy.
Happy.
So Andy, if you would reach out to, reach out to those people maybe and get them together, like, the tourism and, the Riley Festival, the gal that does the Riley Festival, and maybe have them come and maybe we can put a request out for, interested parties to come to form a committee to decide, how we want to create this board or commission or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it, but and do it as quickly as we can. But I don't, I can't promise that a festival's even going to happen this year. I mean, the park is going to be under construction. So in summer, and that's going to change the venue for some of what we do. So I'm not making any commitments about anything. I'm just bringing ideas.
It's gonna be a plan here.
Yes. And I don't think that'll be a bad thing to regroup and hit it hard the following year with marketing and just kind of make it a whole. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing. We'll see what the public has to say, but that's my opinion. Anybody else have any opinions? Rich, you're awful quiet.
I already said my opinion. We're reinventing the wheel. I mean, McCourtsville, Pendleton, they all have parks boards that already handle this stuff and they get grant money. I'm not sure why we're.
I don't know that we're going to have that much grant money available moving forward.
Things are a lot different too. But yeah,
I talked to Flori May. She says there's a lot of grant money available that we're not applying for because the state has the money. We can get it. We just have to form a parks board. You can ask her.
well, we are the Parks Board. We get it.
But what I'm saying is they can get grant money that we can't get.
There are some grants that you have to have a parks board as created under statute, like a
Yeah,
separate.
I know one specific one,
I mean,
but
there's
yes,
some,
Yeah.
but that it's not all.
Yeah.
Right. What I'm
We've got a
trying-
grant application in right now for over $400,000 for trails for the Parks Department.
Right.
We should hear about that in February, whether we receive those funds or not.
I think what we need to
Uh,
focus
just-
on is just getting organized right now, because who's going to write the grant? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
let's just get organized and then we can look at that later.
All I'm saying is just do your own research. If you want, talk to Flory May, talk to the Parks Board in McCordsville and Pendleton. And that's where you need to just talk to Flory May.
I think they already are. Okay. All right, well, I'll leave it with that and then you do the, if you need me, let me know. Okay, next we have department, reports. Joe, you have anything?
I don't have a lot this evening, being on vacation for a week. I'm buried and trying to get dug out. But one thing that I do want to see if I can get a consensus from the council. As you know, there's our sewer and water territory. The cutoff between us and McCordsville is 400 west. That's for sewer only. We currently serve water beyond our county line, corporate lines up into Hamilton County. We've had some developers approach us about extending our water still in Hancock County, just going west, which would go into the McCordsville sewer territory, but not water, because they don't have water. And McCordsville was showing some interest in having us do that as well, because that will help them get development rolling and get them water provided. So before I actually started committing to these developers and the McCordsville folks that we would serve water there, I wanted to kind of get a commitment or a, consensus, at least from the council, that it's okay for me to do that. I did talk with the engineers and they said that it would definitely be to the town's best interest.
Are we gonna try to push some of that cost onto developers then?
No,
or-
we're going to try to push all the cost onto the developers.
Yeah.
Now, there are some times that if we request them to do some upsizing in order to extend the mains further in the future, we'll give them credits on their connection fees if they upsize pipe or something like that. But then that allows us to catch 100% from the one beyond them, or like the last one on the end of the line.
I think it sounds like a great idea.
I was gonna say, what are the cons? Are there any cons?
I don't really know of any. I mean, it's all growing pains. We're gonna have to extend the utilities. We're gonna have the developers do that. There will be a time that, we'll have to drill another well and add another softener. But there are fees that they'll be paying the town in order to utilize our services. We'll well pay for that. So the more services that we connect to help cover that cost for that expansion, then that keeps us from having to charge the ratepayers or bond for that later.
Is that the same thing with like sewer? I mean, do you guys ever go into like half and half with developers, connecting if they want to extend?
Typically, what we do with the developers, we have our territory for sewer. If the sewer, if they're gonna size the system to where the only thing it's gonna handle is their development, then there's no credits. It's 100% on them. They pay us the connection fees and the tap fees, and that's 100% and on them. If, say, for instance, we see that there's another massive field beyond there and we want to service beyond this new development that's going in, and there needs to be a lift station, then we may come in and say, let's go ahead and size this lift station and not only handle yours, but then we're going to handle the acreage south of you. And then we'll give you credits on your connection fees for the upsized cost. And then that allows us to keep growing our system, and that developer then builds the infrastructure for us.
Okay.
That's the way.
Yep,
Yep.
makes good sense.
Thank you. That's all I have for this evening, unless you've got something for me.
Adam, do you have anything?
Nothing for me unless you have Questions or comments, anything?
Keith is not here. Patrick is fishing. Missy, you have anything? Alex?
I will be brief. Just want to update the council on the South Madison extension project related to the PUD development, SC Bodnar and whatnot. Over the last couple of weeks, Buzz Crone's office, myself, Dennis Otten, the developers have had calls on the bond issue as well as the BOT agreement, the build, operate, transfer. We've done those before with water plant and whatnot. Just wanted to update that we've got a time frame or a time schedule. My job was to update you on that time schedule tonight, January 20th. We've been through the process, the redevelopment authority, the RDC, the plan commission, you all as the town council, a lot of different moving parts and votes and resolutions over the next couple of months. But if everything stays on track, we should be done in mid-April. I think I misspoke at the RDC meeting and said mid-March, but the RDC would be done in mid-March. But in time to start, construction and moving things forward this spring. So it's moving forward and more to come.
Good. That's exciting. Okay, next up, public comment. Okay. Libby, you have anything?
I don't have any.
Right.
No, thank you.
I have nothing.
Congratulations, IU.
Yeah. That was awesome.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
Make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:52.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you for coming.